Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a place where higher education wasn't just scarce, but almost entirely out of reach for huge parts of the population, especially in these really rugged, remote areas. Now, imagine a single institution stepping in to, well, completely transform that landscape. That's what we're diving into today. The remarkable journey of Far Western University in Nepal. Our source for this deep dive is a detailed analysis called Quality Education, Research, and the Path to Prosperity, Far Western University, which was published by API Online Khabar. It gives a really comprehensive look at the university's achievements, the hurdles it's faced, and its pretty bold aspirations for the future.
Yeah, and what's truly compelling here, I think, is how this one university, Far Western University, FWU, it serves as this powerful microcosm, for broader themes like educational inclusion and regional development. So we'll be exploring its profound impact on historically marginalized communities, its kind of surprising evolution into a research hub, and crucially, the factors needed for its sustained success.
Right. And as always, our mission is to cut through the noise, pull out those really key nuggets of knowledge, maybe uncover some surprising facts, and help you understand why FWU's story matters. Not just for Nepal, really, but maybe as an inspiring blueprint for progress in other places too. It's easy to think of a university as just, another building, another institution, but here's where it gets really interesting. The start of Far Western University wasn't just like another academic expansion for Nepal. Our source actually paints it as a pivotal, almost revolutionary moment in the country's higher education history.
That's exactly right. FWU was founded with a very specific, very ambitious aim to bring higher education within reach for communities in that far western region. We're talking about people who were geographically isolated, socially sidelined, economically disadvantaged. It wasn't just about putting up a campus. It was about, quite literally, delivering educational opportunity right to their doorsteps, almost like consciously pushing new intellectual energy into the public sphere.
And it sounds like it really leaned into that role. The source describes it as a critical gateway, specifically for groups like Dalits, indigenous people, women, and the economically disadvantaged. This wasn't just abstract social justice talk. It was about creating real, tangible pathways to social mobility right there on the ground.
Precisely. And FWU's inclusive approach, its policies that were actually tailored to the local contexts and its sort of decentralized educational model, these are genuinely commendable efforts toward equal opportunity. It doesn't just talk about an education for all philosophy. It seems to be practically implementing it, directly lifting local living standards, fostering development, and promoting social justice. To really get the full picture, you have to see this university not just as an academic place, but as an intentional engine for social and cultural rebirth in the region. And the source underscores that its long-term success is going to hinge on, an unwavering commitment to quality, accountability, and ongoing institutional reform.
Okay, so with that kind of vision driving it, how has that actually translated into the academic experience? I mean, what does this really mean for students who are looking to learn there?
Well, FWU has been remarkably successful in establishing itself as a truly multidisciplinary and inclusive institution within Nepal. It offers a really broad spectrum of faculties and academic programs, from bachelor's all the way up to the PhD level.
And the range of fields is pretty impressive. You mentioned humanities, education, science, technology, management, agriculture, engineering, law, health, natural resource management. Wow. That kind of multi-subject structure must inherently push students to think beyond the traditional academic boxes, which has got to be valuable.
It absolutely does. This wide array of offerings gives students that crucial opportunity to choose subjects based not just on personal interests, but also on current social needs and their professional goals. And this is particularly beneficial, as you might guess, for students from rural, marginalized, and economically weaker backgrounds. It directly supports Nepal's national goals for educational inclusion. Now, the source does acknowledge a significant challenge here. Maintaining consistent quality and balance across such an expanding range of subjects, that's tough. It requires making sure you have skilled faculty in every single field, providing the resources for proper hands-on, practical education, creating genuinely tech-friendly learning environments, and developing a pretty robust research infrastructure to back it all up.
Yeah, that point about maintaining quality is absolutely critical. But it's interesting, the source also notes a really powerful positive outcome. Despite these challenges, FWU's inclusive curriculum and the local education options have apparently significantly reduced the need for students to go elsewhere for quality education. It's effectively keeping bright minds and talent within Nepal, preventing that brain drain we hear so much about.
That's a key distinction, yeah. And it really underscores the university's growing impact because, as the source reveals, FWU isn't just content with being a teaching institution anymore. It seems to be undergoing a pretty fundamental shift in its very identity.
A fundamental shift. That sounds big. What kind of shift are we talking about here?
We're seeing a strategic push towards innovation, research-oriented teaching, and, importantly, international collaboration. This is a very deliberate, very crucial move to transform from what the source calls a teaching university into a research university. And you can spot examples of this shift kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a concerted effort to directly link teaching with active research, the development of new research-based teaching techniques, making the curriculum relevant to local needs, and these innovative educational activities that really foster new ways of thinking.
And they're not doing this in isolation, right? The source highlights their extensive international engagement. Things like active participation in national and international conferences, signing memorandums of understanding MEMIUs with foreign universities, and actually publishing research articles.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just about getting recognition, is it? It sounds like it's about fundamentally lifting the academic quality and plugging students and teachers into a global network. That boosts academic freedom and creativity, too.
Absolutely. And we can't overlook the vital role played by FWU's constituent campuses. Places like Darchula Multipurpose Campus, Kailali Multipurpose Campus, Tikapur, Jaiprithvi. These are really the front lines. They're focusing on practical learning through field visits, internships, hands-on research projects, and they're leveraging technology too, like smart boards and digital resources. It's genuinely enhancing FWU's reputation nationally and really transforming the teaching learning process, even with those challenging geographical constraints.
It really does sound like incredible progress. But, every big journey hits some bumps. What are some of the hurdles Far Western University is navigating right now?
Honestly, the source doesn't pull any punches. It addresses some significant structural and managerial challenges. For instance, the process of merging campuses is apparently still a bit unclear, not fully institutionalized yet. Political interference sometimes impacts decision-making. That's a tough one. Merit-based promotion isn't consistently implemented everywhere, and faculty and staff in the more remote areas, well, they still lack adequate allowances and benefits sometimes.
Right. So addressing these isn't just about, smoothing things over. It sounds absolutely crucial for their future. The source really emphasizes that tackling these issues needs far-sighted policy, stronger academic leadership, unwavering transparency, clear accountability, and inclusive participation from every level. Yeah. If they can effectively manage these, the potential is huge. FWU could become a leading research and innovative university for all of Nepal.
Exactly. And a core part of that is meritocracy. The source really hammers this home. Building that strong foundation requires appointments right from the vice chancellor down to the campus chiefs to be based solely on expertise, completely free from political pressure. Institutional independence and, impartial leadership are just non-negotiable if they want to achieve those long-term goals.
Okay, speaking of people, the source also dives into something crucial. How the university is investing in its own faculty and staff. What's the impact looking like there?
Indeed. And FWU's initiatives for professional development are genuinely commendable, according to the source. They're offering professors targeted training, seminars, research grants, even study leave. And this investment is directly leading to a real qualitative increase in their academic and research capacity. You see many professors actively pursuing MPhil and PhD degrees now. They're publishing their work, participating in conferences. These efforts significantly enrich the entire academic environment. It's vital for the university's competitive edge, especially internationally.
So if all this is happening sort of behind the scenes, what does it actually mean for the students themselves? Has their academic experience genuinely improved? And how is the university connecting with the community around it?
Well, there's been genuinely hopeful and significant progress in the student academic experience. While maybe in the past there were concerns about irregular classes or whether the curriculum was relevant, recent indicators look very positive. We're seeing increased passing rates, much greater student participation in research projects, curriculum innovation that actually addresses modern needs, and much more active extracurricular engagement. This clearly signals a strong move towards a student-centered learning culture, which has definitely boosted the university's academic image.
And that's where education goes beyond the classroom walls, isn't it? FWU's collaboration with the community, the source, highlights that as a crucial role beyond just academics.
Absolutely. FWU's campuses are actively engaging with local communities. Think educational projects, awareness programs, service-based learning initiatives, things like that. This clearly demonstrates the university's commitment to social responsibility, and that naturally enhances its popularity and helps ensure local stability. The source does suggest, though, that maybe embedding these community efforts even more deeply into the university's core structure could broaden its impact further, strengthen its inclusivity and sustainability. Makes sense.
And here's another fascinating dimension the source mentions: the international reach. Specifically, students are now coming from places like Bangladesh. What does that signify for FWU?
Oh, that's a vital sign. It points to FWU's expanding international network and its, burgeoning potential to become a global educational destination. This kind of international exposure broadens the whole academic horizon. It allows students and teachers to exchange knowledge from really diverse cultural, linguistic, and academic backgrounds. But to truly achieve that long-term goal of becoming a leading educational center, FWU needs improvements both internally and externally. Internally, that means clear policies for faculty adjustment, better services and benefits for staff, assured research funding, fully impartial appointment systems, and continuing to focus on developing relevant, innovative curricula. And externally, well, it requires an end to political interference, consistent and adequate investment from the state, and strengthening both national and international collaborations. Coordinated progress on both those fronts, internal and external, that's what will enable FWU to be truly competitive, inclusive, and high quality, both nationally and internationally.
So after this deep dive, what does Far Western University's story really tell us about the future of education in Nepal, and maybe even in other developing regions?
Well, I think Far Western University's progress so far is not just inspiring, it's truly brimming with immense potential. Despite really significant challenges, geographical remoteness, resource scarcity, those managerial complexities we talked about, the university's active engagement in educational reform, research promotion, strengthening administration, and social responsibility. It's highly commendable. The development of a growing research culture, the curriculum innovation, expanding international collaboration, deepening community relations, these are all actively establishing FWU as an inclusive, innovative, and socially responsible university.
Yeah, those achievements lay an incredibly strong foundation for the future. But our source powerfully emphasizes that critical need for well-structured policy, visionary and transparent leadership, professional integrity, and crucially, inclusive participation from all stakeholders. That means professors, students, staff, officials, policymakers, and civil society too.
Exactly. If all these stakeholders commit and act responsibly, Far Western University has a really strong potential to solidify its identity as a truly quality university, not just nationally, but internationally, and maybe in the very near future. Its ongoing journey, though, will ultimately hinge on the clear implementation of its policies and really a shared, unwavering commitment to its core vision.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Far Western University's remarkable journey. As you go about your day, maybe consider the powerful ripple effect that a single institution, when it's thoughtfully led and deeply rooted in its community, can have on an entire nation's progress. Something to think about.